Be some change-ups in the bans, Valdez, because when it comes to blue side and red side, it's going to be DAMWON Gaming choosing red in game number 2. BattleComics chose blue in game number 1, if I remember correctly. So, given that reality, BattleComics remaining on the blue side. Seeing how the bans go so far, I think banning Shen feels really bad on patch 8.17, so I would still be surprised to see it happen. The Ryze ban is skipped over, but the safety that Holo had in the late game on the Xayah is what is banned away. I imagine Hoyt will still consider Rakan if it's left open. So what would Team BattleComics first pick? If this was way back into the Challengers Finals, it would have been the Ryze first pick, and Ryze was banned in game number 1, but it's overlooked, and it's going to be a first pick Tahm Kench, despite the Tahm Kench nerfs, and despite the fact that Joker's Tahm Kench, especially in game 1, had a lot of jitters in that series 2 days ago.
Tahm Kench, as you mentioned, skipped over the first time around, but makes your bottom lane really solid, doesn't give anything else away in terms of what you want to ban. And is Showmaker just going to straight up blind pick the Yasuo? Seems like he's angry, but generally not what you want to do in a pick ban phase and go ahead and first pick Yasuo.
If Gragas was up, you'd understand it, right? Because Gragas and Yasuo somehow will work, but they're actually going to first round Pyke as well. This could be a duo lane, super greedy duo lane, but the sort that can run over an enemy team, but it's more likely one of Noguri or Showmaker will be playing it, and it's also with quite a lot open. The fact that Onfleet gets to roll back Olaf. Olaf seemed like the most slam dunk ban or takeaway of all time, and they get it second round.
I was thinking, you know, go ahead with the, let them take the Tahm Kench and then you take the Olaf and something else on the first round. Instead, we get this weird abomination. We'll see how it all comes together for DAMWON Gaming. I don't want to call it just yet.
A lot of safety in the duo on the side of BattleComics, and when you see something as peculiar as Jace Pyke first round, I actually think Ezreal Tahm Kench is a good answer, because it's like, well, this could be anything. I'll just go ultra safe. It's going to be a first round Jace as well. We're getting a lot of shenanigans on the side of DAMWON Gaming, that's for sure, as the Jace is a big favorite of Noguri, and the top side. Will Ornn be banned? Because it does seem like it's going to be a top lane Jace, and Ornn can sustain through the Jace matchup very well. So far, the Poppy ban has been sent towards Soar.
Yeah, an interesting one. Don't really get to see Poppy banned out all too often.
In Korea.
But yeah, in Korea.
EULCS, very common ban, and the Malphite
They're
ban.
just, targeting stuff against this Jace, as they did pick it pretty early.
I guess they really want Jace to face off against Ornn, because it seems like that's going to be the reality, unless we're going to be see Yasuo or Jace bot lane. Let's wait and see, though. Conspicuously, the Ornn is left open. The Sejuani default pick into Olaf is denied. DAMWON Gaming, show us something. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
We're getting spicy. Punches Lee Sin was his best champion on Kongdu Monster when his confidence was up. When his confidence started to go away, so did the confident Lee Sin picks. So cool to see it. Very high physical damage comp on the side of DAMWON Gaming. BattleComics are probably a bit perplexed, but the Ornn was left open and will be taken.
It's definitely a head scratcher. When you take a look at this composition, not what you would expect from the side of DAMWON. It's almost like they are angered after game number 1 and they just want to go full solo queue aggro mode.
There aren't any AP bot laners left open either, because the ones you think of are Varus and Kai'Sa usually, and they're both banned. Seems like BattleComics will take a basically last pick on the blue side, Ryze, which is left open the entire way. It's going to have to be a bot laner that does magic damage, you would think, or it's going to be Jace or Yasuo bot lane. We thought that it might be Yasuo Pyke bot lane, and we may actually be seeing that, Valdez, especially if we see a Zoe last round. There's still some ambiguity in this draft. We'll get the confirmation pretty soon.
I kind of like the Swain into the bottom lane, but instead they're going to go ahead with the Syndra counter pick into the Ryze in the mid lane. Saved that one till the end and kind of left it, hard to guess down to the bottom side with that flex pick Yasuo.
It's pretty greedy, Valdez. We saw Yasuo into Kai'Sa, done by the best awesome dude of them all in Viper in the LCK final, and that worked. His next game on Yasuo and bot lane Vladimir did not work. But this is definitely kind of a win more bot lane. There is very easy opening of the last breath with any amount of charged Q coming through from the Pyke, but Pyke not known for his laning phase power. Yasuo usually needs a bit of a help, especially in the early laning phase. So it did end up being the first round Yasuo Pyke, but what will the reality be? They do get magic damage out of the comp, but it's a very, very squishy comp that will find it hard to come back if it does start to fall behind.
Yeah, definitely looks like your average Korean solo queue composition where everybody wants to be the carry, including the jungler, the mid lane, the bottom lane. He's on that awesome dude hype. You see Pyke pretty much every game as well nowadays, and I like it. It's very aggro. They want to get into the heads of BattleComics already.
But you worry that if we see a 5-kill Olaf again, there's no one to stand anywhere near toe-to-toe with a Fed member in the early game. As the game goes on, they have Tahm Kench, Olaf, and also the Orange. So they're going to be able to do similar things compositionally and play around the Baron like they did in game number 1. DAMWON have chosen a draft they want. They have not gone for any denial to the side of Team BattleComics. There may not be any Xayah feathers, but otherwise Team BattleComics pretty copy and paste from game number 1. DAMWON are going to have to start flexing, because if they don't early, you worry that this could already be 3 match points to the side of Team BattleComics.
Yeah. Everybody on the side of DAMWON wants to be the showmaker this time around. There is only one showmaker. He's on the Syndra. We saw that he was really trying to make a show on Tuesday, getting way too aggressive on the LeBlanc from time to time. I wonder how he's going to do on this more controlled Syndra, where you kind of had to control the lane and take down the Rise. Also got punched to try to not sit back and just die to the Olaf. This time around, he's trying to take things into his own hands. Looks like we may have a little bit of a small pause here before we get into game 2.
That's okay, it's table setting. I'm really excited for Lee Sin versus Olaf because it's punches Lee Sin, and where my memory is clearest is how good his Lee Sin was on his day. This is definitely a swingy matchup. Let's see how the second game goes.
Countdown has started. We're ready to jump into game number 2 right now. What the hell happened? They like hire some cheerleaders to come on in here and actually get it started, because that's what it feels like.
Don't question how the meal is made. Just appreciate the fact that we've got some cheers. We've got some action-packed picks in game number 2. And okay, so Nuclear was bold. He went for the bot lane Yasuo that we usually only associate with Viper. He's actually gone teleport. Usually when we see awesome dudes, these non-AD carries, in the carry position bot side, it ends up being Exhaust Ignite between the support and the AD carry. In this case, Nuclear just wants to go for an extra shopping trip. Maybe thinks it's going to be poked out, but they don't even have the Exhaust Ignite for a gimmicky all-in. So you have to feel like Hollow and Joko just saying, who do they think we are? And feeling they're going to be very comfortable in the duo lane.
Yeah, to be honest, Nuclear and Hoyt well, not kind of, they definitely impressed me more when it came to the Tuesday games, so I understand why they're kind of go aggressive like this, but take a look already, Hollow and Joker saying, nah, this is our bottom lane.
And it's a point we haven't talked about in a long time, but let's talk about something that was never really talked about in competitive play after 2016. Top lane Tahm Kench. What is he really good at? Punishing melee champions. When you don't have Exhaust Ignite, when you have a teleport Yasuo, Tahm Kench walks up and he double autos both people. They both have to disengage. Tahm Kench can actually 1v2 this bot lane pretty adeptly as Summoner Heal also to help out with the Summoner disadvantage. So between that, the Tahm Kench and Shen is actually the same in the support role. The Shen support meta was when awesome dudes are around because his W is so powerful against something like a Yasuo. Tahm is really good at running this duo lane, and we don't often see Tahm Kench lanes just straight up win 2v2.
Well, it's already happening down here on the bottom side. I feel like BattleComics with Hollow, if Hollow was just a little bit more, how can I say it, clean, right? Just shave away a couple of mistakes from time to time, they would be a huge force to be reckoned with in the LCK. We'll see how this goes along. Joker, he's not just good at stopping melee champions, he's also good at stealing away scuttle crabs.
And we do our research and we say there's definitely some areas where BattleComics could be exploited. You think carry top lane meta, Sora's not going to be the man for that, most likely. Hollow, like you say, and Joker have had their little mistakes. I don't think they're going to stack up very well against Deft and Marta and some of the best in the LCK. But for this short tournament on patch 817, where we don't have the big names, it doesn't matter if BattleComics may end up being a struggler in the LCK, just about qualifying. And DAMWON are making it pretty easy. They're letting them play the same thing twice in a row. We know they can play a draft like this. Let's see if DAMWON can punish them. Oh, a scout of the week like that is not going to be a great start.
Yeah. Kind of looked like Dove dodged it, but Showmaker was going to miss that regardless of the way that Dove went. So kind of unfortunate that that happened. I liked that OnFleek was in position, actually a level above of the Olaf. They're trying for this again. There's the stun. He lands that Q. Gonna force the flash away already in the mid lane.
Electrocute on the Lee Sin. A bit of respect shown there by the side of BattleComics. No Dark Harvest. Actually in China, when we see the Lee Sin, it's going to be Dark Harvest Lee Sin, and Dark Harvest has replaced the Electrocute as a keystone for damage junglers like Jarvan and, for example, Punch on this Lee Sin. A bit curious to see that decision. Bit of a mini Thunderlords now, I guess you think of it. Things very comfortable on the bot side. You push it in and then you say, well, we can't really force the Tahm Kench is too strong for us to outduel. So you end up with the lane in quite an awkward position like we see it right now.
Yeah. Is going to be pushing towards the side of DAMWON. Hoyt going to take that opportunity to go back home and just upgrade his support item as soon as possible. The Yasuo, who can get bullied just a bit in the lane, that teleport, if he's not trying to go 2v2, trying to go for kills, at least the teleport helps him stick around in the lane.
One thing I'm going to do when I get a bit of time is watch OnFleek's pathing when he's playing the Olaf, because this is 2 games where it feels like he's a level a minute. He must have min-maxed like crazy. Has a great idea of what the camp order you should go in, because he's level 5 at 5 minutes. He's had it for a little bit now. He's very good at min-maxing, and we've seen him gank, we've seen him farm. Both of them seem to have pretty good results for the side of BattleComics.
He did also get double scuttle with the help of Joker and that lane advantage they had in the bottom side, so it does help. But, I mean, this is multiple games in a row now where it doesn't really matter if he gets double scuttle. He somehow ends up ahead of his enemy jungler somehow, some way.
And he gets that huge shop of completed jungle item boots instead of just talisman boots. So great min-maxing. Now he's level 5, but Showmaker level 6. Probably someone you should respect.
Oh boy, there's that stun, but again, just Challenger Smite says, I'm going to get away from you. Does go for the flash, not sure if he had to, but very respectful of Showmaker at least.
He wasn't 100% sure if it was Ignite or Cleanse, and that's definitely the time when you choose to flash. Sorry about the visual lag, guys. That's only on the observer's end. We've definitely seen the extended visual lag that was a game issue, but for moments like that, that is not Olaf lagging during a 1v1 skirmish. That's just unfortunate observer situation. So OnFleek gets away. His flash is down. Can Punch turn this into something? Because especially from level 6 onwards, you have some good all-in options against the Olaf.
Look at Hoyt going for a little move to the mid lane alongside of Punch. They're going for a 3-on-1. He has been spotted. Need that hook to start. He gets it into the stun, and they should have enough damage to take him out. There it is. One last auto, and first blood goes to Showmaker.
And it's all while bot lane is shopping as well, so no punishment onto Hoyt. He doesn't use the deep water dive too early because he doesn't want there to be any warning for the mid laner. Nice stuff from DAMWON. To make a draft like this work, you need to be playing from ahead. They have lane priority in multiple lanes. Turning them into kills, one of the few ways to get over some of the humps in teamfight construction, like their lack of a front line.
Punch comes up here and actually gets level 6 from the wave, so can look for an opportunity onto the Ornn, but you can see how respectful Sora is being right now. They know the timing on the blue buff, and OnFleek is actually going to go for the Wolves instead. Should be a call that the Jace is missing and that they have to be careful around the blue buff. Might just give this one to DAMWON, although OnFleek is coming on in very slowly, though.
Is 2 priority lanes top side coming through for the side of DAMWON.
He got it!
Bad timing there from Punch, misses out. Smited too early, it was at 50 health, and it was smited second by OnFleek. The only winning lane for BattleComics in the early laning phase is bot side. So if you jungle top side as Punch, you're feeling good about your options. It was a nice capitalize in the mid lane as well. This time, with that information, they'll really need to trade upon the top side. That means they basically have to get Rift Herald because you can't stack up Drakes when the bot lane is in a bit of disarray.
It's not the first time that On Fleek with the Predator comes in and just throws a Predator axe in the face of the mid laner. I'm not sure if it was the mid laner the last time around, but loves to go for that kind of play. Speaking of which, level 6 on Hoyt, thinking about a play onto the Tahm Kench, but actually going to rethink it as Tahm Kench relatively tanky when you don't have much damage.
They were looking into ranges there. If it was under turret, they would have tried more of an all-in. Here's the replay. Notice, very late on the deep water dive. Uses it mostly for movement speed. Dove tries to juke, but that needed to be the next level challenger play of running in a straight line. That was the only way he was going to get out. Nice play from DAMWON Gaming and from Hoyt in particular. Need to find your advantages around the rift, because in the 2v2, short of a all-in when either Hollow or Joker are alone, not going to be any good news there.
Bottom side of the map is totally controlled by the bottom lane of BattleComics. They take a second Scuttle Crab for their team, essentially. The first one was given over to On Fleek. This one goes to Hollow, just to get them even that much farther ahead. Take a look at that CS right now for the Ezreal, even ahead of the 2 solo laners from DAMWON who are winning.
And if the Yasuo is picking up 5 out of every 6 CS and just doing okay while Hoyt roams and gets advantages, you'll take that if you're DAMWON Gaming. Dove in the mid lane, just picking up farm. Wasn't able to pick up blue because his jungler won it in the smite battle, but there was no way to give it over to the Rise. On Fleek wants to jungle bot side. That's the stronger side for him. But
how is he level 8 already?
This
even happened?
This is just On Fleek things.
He's got completed Cinder Hulk. After taking the blue, I guess he went back and bought, and now he's level 8, and same level as both of his solo laners, and now he's looking for punch. There's the Tahm Kench too. Gonna look for an opportunity, but he does get away. Doesn't even have to flash. That's just Lee Sin things.
Nice timing, though, is just exactly as the Abyssal Voyage is coming in, but Punch able to disengage. Doesn't even have to use his ultimate to make the play. Punch going for the solo Q build and has the Tiamat here for faster clear and another little bit of extra burst in a single burst rotation. Probably doesn't want to take an all-in against Cinderhulk already. Olaf, whoever gets the drop in the jungle matchup is the one who prospers. In that case, it was the Olaf, but at least unable to disengage.
Trying to punish the back timing of the bottom lane of DAMWON Gaming. Nuclear still has his teleport. Not going to use it this time. Should be able to catch the majority of that wave anyway. But look at this, On Fleek now going for the Cloud Drake with the help of his friends. Hoyt not going to get in there and actually take it away. Should be just fine to just scout that out.
I like watching Hoyt and Joker have a bit of fun. Sports get to play League of Legends too, it turns out, in this particular game. Hollow's going to feel so good about 3 items. When he has Muramana, Iceborne Gold, and a Hex Drinker, he'll feel like a god because of the enemy composition and there being only burst from the mid laner in Showmaker. So for now, at least, the Iceborne Gauntlet first feels great. On Fleek's depressed because he bounced over and did not find a wolf camp. Hoyt looking, but he's pretty squishy.
Got to be held down for 2 seconds here. Finally able to get away on the backside. If the Ezreal was there, it could have been nice. Oh, the Q is missed, and On Fleek does get away with this flash. Could have been an opportunity to burst him down even before he gets the flash and maybe have Punch follow, but you got to hit that first Sonic Wave.
You're all about the last Blitzcrank hook and the last Lee Sin Q, and Punch lets us down on that one. He's also spotted tying up this Rift Tower, but we know that Dove is pretty low mana. They don't know that On Fleek is still here. Will there be a contest allowing Punch a pretty long leash, and now Dove walks up?
Looks like they were waiting for the rotation. Showmaker and Hoyt gonna come on in here.
4v4.
Dove pretty low, but does get that Devour on in. Look at Showmaker has to flash away from the ultimate. Soar getting really low on the top side. The kick on top of him, but he's able to flash away now. 1Q gets it. Showmaker gets it with the Arcane Comet to start off this fight in their favor. Nuclear now gonna teleport on in, and the Rift Herald is still breezed here, but down to the last second. It is gonna be released. Really unfortunate. Gonna spend a lot of time to get it, but at least they should be able to secure it.
Seems like nothing else will come off at the back end. Hoyt, importantly, actually hit the X correct, and even though he wasn't the one to pick up the initial kill credit, he does actually get the gold cash in there because of the positioning and the timing. Rift Herald's low, he's a TP.
Oh, not gonna get the smite there is On Fleek, but they're gonna try to block this Rift Herald buff.
Who's gonna play the You Shall Not Pass game? You'd imagine it's Joker trying to keep them away from the Rift Herald Eye.
They stop any kind of vision, but Hoyt is the one that is looking for it, but sees the Ornn.
It takes so long to go away. Maybe it was 20 seconds, maybe 25.
Just waiting for it, but they know he's there.
Yep.
There's no way that he can just hop his way over. Too dangerous right now, and that should be able to be denied.
Oh, will it though? Watching the timer here, Unfleek is not to be trifled with, as we know. It finally goes away, so no Rift out, only 25 gold for all the time invested. In hindsight, that was a bad Bitcoin day, it seems, for the side of DAMWON Gaming. And watch the replay of this long extended play. Felt like it could go either way, and definitely not a damage maximization. Syndra ulti might have just used it to set up a AoE E onto multiple members, but Syndra gets very little out of the fight because of the X positioning. The animation was not completed, but the gold cash-in was.
Showmaker making the most, actually, of a rough start to the fight, so credit to him. He's now going to be 2-0 on the Syndra with nearly the most farm in the game, just behind the Ezreal. So they have their Showmaker online and ready to go here, ready to carry. Level 11 Syndra now, definitely looking better than Dove in the mid lane for this game, who's down 2 levels.
Problem comes for DAMWON Gaming as this game extends, because I want you to draw your attention to Nuguri's choice of Keystone. He did not go for Conqueror. Usually, if you're in a matchup like this as Jace, you go Conqueror, just so you can have increased threat onto the Ornn as the game goes on. He went Summoner Aerie for earlier laning, so it's an extension of what we were saying. Snowball around, strong priority pick on the top side of the map. As the game goes on, Ornn should be able to match up to both threats from DAMWON. Ryze potentially could very well as well. So even 1-3-1 with Jace is not possible. And if you can't 1-3-1 at Jace, how do you win with a Jace comp? Maybe the answer is you don't.
Definitely get that feeling. We'll see how the game does play out. Joker gonna deny a bunch of vision for the Olaf to make his way, but Punch now looking for an opportunity onto Dove, who has no summoners. Could have a couple of plays playing out here. Looks like the bottom side is going to be started up by Joker, forces that hop over the wall.
Feels like an engaged support because of the Yasuo and Pyke bot lane that he's facing. Same level here between Unfleek and Punch. Both of them ships in the night, but they seem to have a pretty good idea of where the enemy was. Showmaker rotating as well. Dove going to be second, and it's not level 11 yet, so the Realm Warp not as long range.
See, BattleComics really trying to get this fight started, but you got to be careful when your Tahm Kench already eats half his health bar in the damage. And we also saw Soar just angling down to the bottom side, and that means that with the Jace in the top lane, he's already getting that push on.
BattleComics might want to rotate multiple members mid because Ezreal has 2 items, but caught between those two things, trying to return. Here comes the Q.
It's going to be a nice amount of damage here, and a Joker gets kicked to the side. Nuclear not in range, actually, but Joker's still going to go down as Hoyt picks up the kill and hands over some gold to his friends.
Summoner heal available for Joker, but there was no escape there the moment that he was tagged by the first Q into Lee Sin coming over the wall. They could find the first turret of the game. That would be really important for DAMWON. Stick the landing on their solo Q-esque. Let's just go for strong champions in the early game and strong lanes rather than really filling out with a team comp. Win lane, win game is another way to win, and especially in this lower level of competition away from, say, the top 5 of the LCK, you can understand how that might be the confidence choice for the side of DAMWON, but you need more moments like this, more playmaking like this. Q into stun, into Punch being there, nicely executed, but only a kill, no objective to back it up for the side of DAMWON.
It's funny, the couple of times I've seen Joker on the Tahm Kench, the first game was just hilarity as he was abyssal voyaging by himself into enemy lines and being taken out immediately, but baiting the enemy team into a bad fight. And this game, where he kind of just gave away a kill and is being ultra aggressive, at the end of the day, though, he's still 8-0 on Tahm Kench after picking up a couple of wins the other day. It's definitely funny to watch. A new style of Tahm Kench compared to someone like CoreJJ, who's sitting back and just waiting for Ruler to not die unless he finds a very specific opportunity.
We're seeing very different Tahm Kench play in China as well. You'll know there's been Zeke's Convergence Tahm Kench games. I believe IG loves to do that one because then you just bring your AD carry into a fight with the buff already there from the Zeke's convergence because your ultimate was used, and try to make advantage of the instant extra damage. So with the changes in Tahm Kench to deny away the babying style, the just purely defensive devour style, thanks to the cooldown increase, you do have to think about the champion a little bit different or respect the windows a little bit differently. So I'm all about a bit of change, even if I think Joker was a little bit too aggressive the first time we saw him.
Punch coming on in. You can see already that the Ezreal is beginning to chunk out some of these members that don't have all that much armor stacked up. But a lot of people now into the bottom side. 4 in total. Hollow just using his arcane shift, but no engage going to happen. Dove did have his teleport too, as well as Sora is about to get his if any action does start up in the bottom side.
Fleek in the right place at the right time, not aggressively like we might hope. He's actually got no kill involvement at 19 minutes compared to 3 games domination from him. So he'll just back away. Mana Moon stacking, the Saracen Brace stacking as well, but Punch is going to find Joker again.
He's going to miss that Q, but he gets the knock-up here for the Yasuo. Great health coming on in. Another knock-up here into Syndra ultimate, but the Ornn coming from behind. No knock-up to stop it. Gets a double one. The Axe gets nuclear super low, but it looks like Dove is going to go down on the backside. The red buff from Noguri is going to start that one up. Sor also going to get hooked on the backside. Noguri looking for that one snipe from the pit. No stun is going to land here. The hook goes on to On Fleek. But they already got 2 kills. They're going to be happy with that.
And DAMWON is so happy to turn this into much more skirmishing than true 5v5 team fights, getting picks left, right, and center with the pick tools that they have, and that's injecting more and more gold onto their team. They need this. If they had lost the first 5 kills of the game, we would have been calling it premature GG, Valdez, but they need these kills to hold a chance. They try to thrive in disarray. They can't burst down the Tahm Kench straight, and this time, there is no cash-in, actually, as the ult was too late coming through from the pipe. No reset from that either. Well, the ult zooms to the back line. Dove says, this is my time to shine. But he actually takes so much return damage, the BattleComics need to use summoners just to disengage the fight.
The double stun there as Dove and On Fleek just flash forward looking for kills and engage was pretty huge. Not sure if that was Syndra or the Pyke, but either way, it did get the job done in that fight, and definitely BattleComics overextending a little bit to try to save their Tahm Kench and look for the very low Yasuo. Didn't end up working, and now they got this Ryze that's awkwardly behind a Syndra who's doing 4,000 damage in team fights and nearly carrying by herself.
Syndra plus X is what they're looking for. The 2v2 with the jungler is going to win. Also, they're able to set up a knock-up for the Yasuo with the Lee Sin, and it almost feels like we have a Kai'Sa when it comes to Nuclear's Yasuo, because he's very much looking to swoop in as he's looking for a solo kill, but the Saracen Brace shield is good.
Gonna need a nice amount of damage there, but it does push Dove away from this lane, especially with Punch, his very fast movement speed already. It's kind of funny how Sora has kept this turret alive for so long. Now looking for the engage, and the top side is going to get the knock-up of Punches here. Flash comes out of Noguri anyway to try to get him to safety. Good trade in the end for BattleComics.
Fleek used a premature Ragnarok to stop the hammer hit away, and also increase his own damage with the R there, but ended up just being wasted. Bot side, the CS lead is about the same, hasn't grown to 50 or 50 plus in this matchup. Pretty unkillable already is the Ezreal, but trying to take this turret with all the chip damage. They do get it at 21 minutes.
That's pretty honorable for the Ornn to keep it alive for that long, especially when he was out of lane for quite a bit, trying to make plays in the mid lane and such. On Fleek, even though he does not have 4 assists, is still an entire level ahead of the Lee Sin, so he's doing his job in that facet.
For a slow Righteous Glory this time. Again, the build is different. Skip the Black Cleaver. I'm happy if you see that. If you don't get any kill involvement solo up and you go Black Cleaver, you're so squishy. The Syndra will basically rotate you, and we're not seeing the recent adaptation of Hex Drinker early from this Olaf. So going to be a bit more about the first axe and the utility. As DAMWON Gaming, again, win lane, win game. You're all about increasing the pace with roams like this.
Both of them spotted on a ward here, but Ryze is underneath turret. Still thinking about a play, though, and there's that damage coming out from the Syndra. Does bait out the ultimate in the end, but DAMWON Gaming with this roam are going to be able to pick up another turret in the bottom side.
For the first time in a long time, I feel like if you want to play solo queue Syndra, it's really good to watch Showmaker this game, because just given the nature of the comp from DAMWON, it is really solo queue-esque in what it's trying to do. And people often ask me, I win my lane, I smash it 3-0, but I lose. How can I improve my play? It's all about roam timings and trying to grow your lead into other areas. This is much more of a team play from BattleComics.
Gotta love Joker's Abyssal Voyages, man. Even in the face of danger, trying to force a 2v3. Of course, didn't know that punch was there, denied vision. Either way, just trying to scare Yasuo a bit, I suppose.
Gotta say, I think he has no one in his belly more than any Tahm Kench player we've seen in competitive play before. All about the one-man roams. Scaling, scaling, scaling for BattleComics. The mid laner has had a Seraph for a while. Slow and steady, as this is definitely the heat map of a power farmer. Only a couple of visits to even the river, let alone in front of it. DAMWON looking for a blue buff steal, and Syndra's pretty good at that.
Yeah, you get a ward, and it's Syndra's buff, but now they're trying to go for the punish here. Will miss the knockup, but here's Tahm Kench from behind. Showmaker in a lot of trouble, has to flash away from this one. Would love to trade a kill, but it doesn't look like she's gonna get it, as it's 5-on-1, and it looks like Hollow actually able to pick up the shutdown as well.
The skill shot's missed, the kill is registered, but what do you get with the kill, BattleComics? There's still a lot of threat on the remaining members of DAMWON. Seeing actually the Pyke here.
Hoyt gets extremely low, actually flashes away on the backside just to make sure, and that essentially puts the Pyke out of this fight. Now it's 5-on-3. Pyke is gonna stay here for now, but will be hard done if he wants to go for an engage, and so they take out another turret.
Really important they got the chunk out on Hoyt. I think with one member down and full health Pyke, you can't walk up like that.
Yeah.
In that scenario they can, so very, very critical that the mistake came in from Hoyt, who we couldn't find enough praise for with his amazing play on specifically the Alistar a few days ago. BattleComics will find a couple of objectives from taking down the Syndra. Syndra may have one rotation burst, and she can space out all her abilities with the early ultimates. Not going to be the same value there for Showmaker, and he does go down.
Look at Joker, man. He doesn't care about anything. He's trying to bait punch into jumping on him and having Olaf shut him down, but gotta be careful. Take a look at the extended fight and how Showmaker got caught.
Again, we see the Realm Warp that denies Showmaker from walking to his Raptors. In the end, he's taken down. Hollow Orb walks back. It actually could have walked up. He probably forgot for a half second that the result was on cooldown, I believe, at that point. Regardless, they get it anyway. They take him down. And now DAMWON Gaming will back away to the river. They've still got control. It's still BattleComics with a map disadvantage. And Joker, he could fall down pretty easily.
He just loves baiting his team and the enemy team into fights here. We'll see if they finally take him out, and they do. But look at the backside. The Olaf going 1v2 is not going to pay off, as this time On Fleek is certainly going to go down. It's going to be a couple of kills as BattleComics getting a little bit too excited.
Of course, we're seeing the Olaf play from behind not be as good as... Oh, the ultimate there just goes wide. Diving in. This is not the On Fleek who's 8-0. This is Joker, like you say. Putting question marks onto everyone's side. Expected the blue and red ones that time on the minimap, especially if it was solo queue. 2 kills donated to DAMWON. How about a Baron? They're starting it up.
They're going to go for it here. It's kind of obvious as everybody disappears on the map, but what can these 3 members do? Hollow pretty fed with the red buff. Can do a nice amount of poking, but he gets caught on the backside. That's going to be a huge stun that takes him out immediately. Soar as well going to get in here. Here comes Joker. Once again, just trying to stop the Baron by himself, but it is extremely low. It doesn't look like anybody can get in there. DAMWON Gaming will secure the first Baron of the game.
A Baron they were desperate for also, based on their team composition, needing to snowball and needing something like a Baron to close out the game. Seems to be a pause called on the side of Team BattleComics. We'll update you guys when we get in the information.
Huh. Okay, it looks like on the side of DAMWON, actually, there is a little bit of trouble here.
Nuclear on the screen seems to be having a couple of issues. A couple of people asked, is it the same Nuclear as played for H2K? The answer is yes, it is the same player. He did not play in spring, but came in after Veritas stepped down from DAMWON Gaming to replace him in summer.
Looks like an audio issue. He was testing his mic, and maybe that is the question. Just wanted to make sure they get the Baron first and then go for the pause. Generally, it seems to be the team that misses the opportunity and has something bad happen in the game go for the pauses, but this time it's actually Nuclear on the side of DAMWON Gaming who does have the issue. It is Nuclear's mic issue. Valdez 1 for 1
Nailed
on
it,
issues
Valdez.
today.
Very nicely called there. Prefer those to game issues because game issues are the ones that require chrono breaks and things like that. I think Nuclear is very happy with the game state right now as the win lane win game comp just picked up a Baron.
It's looking pretty good for them. I feel like BattleComics were a lot cleaner in game number 1, whereas DAMWON just totally changed up their draft, and seemingly it's working as they're finding picks here and there. Syndra getting off to a good start is making things a little bit easier for them.
Let's play what we're good at is always a way in a best of 5 to at least win one game because you feel so much better. You put yourself onto standard stuff that you know you're good at, you win that game, and then it's a best of 3 for qualification today into the LCK. Guys, if you're joining us late this week and it's your first time watching the LCK promotion tournament, you'll say, who is BTC and who is DWG? These are the two teams trying to battle from Challenger to make it to the LCK. LCK, unlike EULCS, NALCS, and the LPL, still has promotion relegation, so this is for 2019 spring. Both the teams from Challenger 1-2-0 against MVP and BBQ respectively, and thus find themselves one best of 5 away from qualification. If they lose today, they will play again on Saturday against the winner of MVP BBQ, which is a best of 5 played tomorrow.
This is definitely the best of 5 you want to win. You're going to feel comfortable against whichever team makes it through. You already defeated one of them for both of these teams. You defeated an LCK team already, so you're feeling confident. Even the BattleComics coach saying we expected to play up against DAMWON and we expected to win our match. So seems like they're very confident overall, but again, it's one best of 5. You would love to just get out and get straight into LCK and not have to worry about returning to the Saturday game up against a rejuvenated LCK team that's coming off of a win.
And it's just such a fun story because we already outlined the last time we had a winners match between the two Challenger teams was 2.5 years ago. And the teams that were promoted in that season, both of them ended up going through, are the teams where one will be relegated tomorrow. It was MVP and ESC Ever in the 2016 summer promotion tournament. So if you're getting a 2.5-year stay in the LCK after today, like the last time this happened, that is a very extended stay. And we have, of course, Griffin as the team that was promoted in the winners match in spring, go on to do some great things, but ultimately not make Worlds. However, that's a dream for these two teams at this point. They just want to make it to the LCK. And DAMWON, we were definitely looking at their draft a bit funny and saying, wow, very solo queue-esque, but these guys are right up there in terms of solo queue. When we went live 2 days ago, we had Noguri, the top laner, at rank 2 and Showmaker at rank 6. I'm sure that's actually moved around with a couple of days. Haven't consulted the top 5 today. But these guys really good when it comes to mechanics. They're just flexing their mechanics. Lee Sin, Syndra, Jace. So far, so good in game number 2.
Yeah, it kind of feels like everybody went Showmaker's way and said, okay, let me show you something. We're going to carry the game by ourselves. It's definitely high mechanically
intensive.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Champions for everybody on the side. You think of Jace, you think of Syndra, obviously Lee Sin and Yasuo, and even the Pyke, you know. A lot of Pyke play nowadays in solo queue from what I can see on streams and in my own play, but not too much in competitive play, I would say, in Korea. Maybe in other regions you'll see it a little bit more. But
laning phase is a bit questionable, and I think that counts it out. You guys, remember, Baron was just picked up for DAMWON Gaming, and that might be the thing to allow this hodgepodge comp to stick the landing. 7,000 gold lead, and now a Baron. They break the base, get an inhibitor or more. Might just be BattleComics having to rethink things in game number 3.
On Fleek in this game is not really taking the carry role, was looking for opportunities, but unfortunately DAMWON were able to play around him. He was looking for the counter gank in the mid lane, and the only assist that he has was the 1 kill onto the Syndra that we did have, which was the 5-on-1, but DAMWON definitely running away with this one just a bit. They're, 7,000 gold ahead with Baron buff now. Seems like a similar position in terms of gold and Baron buff as game number 1 for BattleComics.
And we're in kind of the game state where a Pyke pick looks overpowered, the win more part, where you're already winning and then Pyke can do things like this where he zones, he can look for pick. There's really little incentive to engage on him, and in the meanwhile, Naguri is just taking turrets unanswered on the Jace.
Naguri on the Jace is just unbelievable at pushing, especially with the Baron buff. It's one of the hardest things to deal with when you're going up against a Jace comp, especially when the Ornn himself can't really challenge him up in the lane, has to stick around the turret, but then you have 4, 5, 6 quick autos onto the turret, and all of a sudden it's basically gone because you're Jace. But it's a lot of outer turrets and inner turrets now taken away, 5 in total by DAMWON, who are looking for their 6th in the top lane.
Remember, there's 2 minutes of Baron left. They really want to break the base with this Baron. And inner turrets will not be enough. They want to find a way to really take this one away, as there's a bit of a hook onto the Tahm Kench, already straight up almost dead.
Joker, I feel like you've been playing around a little bit too much. Now it's time to sit in the back and just devour whoever is getting low, because you will consistently get poked out by the Syndra, the Jace, the follow-up by Punch on the Lee Sin, and can't really afford that. You have to have your Tahm Kench be kind of more of a backline pick as you do get behind.
Punch looking for that all-important insect to really guarantee this inhib.
On Fleek, forced to use his ultimate, and take a look at Sora's health, which just disappears on the backside. Syndra able to poke down the Olaf as well, and all of a sudden it turns into a 5-on-3, looking for that first inhibitor in the top side.
On ultimate used just yet, may not even be used. If he was healthy, would have tried to zone away a minion wave. Holds on to that, but they do lose that all-important first inhibitor. We said that was the pass-fail for DAMWON's first Baron. Another pass, they're getting away with this. I think everyone thought the same thing after the draft. They said, what's going on here on the side of DAMWON? So many other game states where you would lose, but guess what? Even if there's only 20 out of 100 scenarios where DAMWON wins, we're living in one of those 20. They're flexing, and they're going to be feeling really good if they can pick up this Game 2 victory.
We got Hollow on the Ezreal. I feel like he has been the cleanest guy, had a very easy laning phase up against Yasuo and Pyke, which aren't the strongest early on. But unfortunately, we've been seeing Ezreal slowly fade away in favor of other AD carry picks. And I guess even when you get this far ahead, we can see that this Ezreal is struggling to really do much from behind.
But we should remember it was double tier items completed here, so went for a real scaling build rather than just trying to close the game. Play the Ruined King value is lower because no one actually is health stacking on the side of DAMWON. There's not even a support who can buy health items, so very, very squishy lineup, so went for the double tier. Helps against the all-in from someone like a Yasuo, but they were never able to wield their pieces, and there were some mistakes from BattleComics, and Joker in particular, that have allowed DAMWON to stick the landing. And for the second inhibitor, this time the Baron has fallen off for DAMWON game.
It's going to be a bit harder, but you can see that their siege still pretty impressive with just Jace and the Syndra. Able to push away both the Ezreal and the Tahm Kench alongside Ornn already. And they're just waiting for the next wave, with the wave pushing in the top side with 2 super minions as well.
You need 11,000 gold lead for damage to outstrip tankiness. Damage costs more. Might see an engaged attempt. Still no Ornhorn. And,
what? Where did he go? Showmaker just makes him disappear onto the map. Ultimates onto Hollow. Thankfully he went in, but it does not matter as the rest of the team with the huge follow-up. Pyke and Jace and Yasuo, everybody getting into the back line. Looks like we have the winner of game number 2.
Are we casting a promotion match? Or are we watching a Dunk Master clip? Because it looks more like the Dunk Master Valdez. It's going to be 1-1 between DAMWON and BattleComics.
Well, that's a scary composition that's going to be hard fought to try to ban away, as DAMWON come into game 2 and style all over BattleComics and say, nuh-uh, We're the team that everybody's talking about. We're the team that makes it into LCK.
And the way they do it is so solo QS that you have to sit back, respect, and say, they did it their way. A lot of people would have called this game in the draft, but there were always win conditions for them. Staying ahead, getting the Syndra fed, and then taking advantage of every mistake from BattleComics, and there were a couple, was very important in finding this victory. What does this mean for game number 3? Because are we going to be seeing first round Yasuo and Pyke again? BattleComics will have side selection in game number 3.
Go and take a look at the BattleComics booth. They kind of look dumbfounded, no one showing too much emotion after game number 2. It's a rough one to lose, where it kind of just feels like you got styled on all game. It definitely set the tone here for DAMWON.
And watch the replay as Dove didn't get to press the Ceres button and straight up died with no ult. That's a QE, killing him.
Yeah.
Hollow needs his shield, but watch this from Punch, sets it up. Beautiful wombo combo by the side of DAMWON. Oh, again, that's the Dunk Master we're talking about. Not everything came up. If it was a real Dunk Master video, they would have re-recorded it and hit all the kills, but still, impressive stuff from DAMWON in game number 2.
Energy not as good in the BattleComics booth this time around. Again, I said it before, but this definitely feels like a composition that you'll struggle to figure out exactly how do we deal with it. I would expect some new picks from BattleComics perhaps to try to shut it down. We'll find out after the break.